Hi guys, it's been a while since I've done a video for this series, but I am back to share another thing that I love to do with tarot that's not reading it. So just in short, not reading the tarot is one of my favorite things to do with the tarot. I mean, of course I read it as well, but sometimes, you're not in the mood, or you're just getting to know your new deck, or you just want to have some fun. So there's lots of things you can do with tarot, and I'm going to turn the camera around and show you one of the things that I like to do. Coloring. I'll tell you exactly the deck that started this trend, and it was a deck I got at least 10 years ago, the Wild Unknown Tarot. Yeah, this was one of my OG decks. I got it about 10 years ago. I can't remember exactly. And I remember really liking it, but being annoyed that there were some cards that didn't have any color in them, whereas most of the cards, so this portion of the deck, are black and white but have like bursts of color in them. And then there was a handful of cards, this many, that were just black and white and didn't have color. And at that time, I found that annoying, and I took it upon myself to color in those cards that had no color. Now I did do this thoughtfully, and to this day, I still agree with the choices I made, except for one card, and I'll just share with you. So here we have the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands was just this really dark card, and it still is. I don't know if you can see, but I put touches of red around the card. Now this was a dark card, and I used markers to color in this deck to try and match the kind of colors that were already in it. They're like these bright, strong colors that I thought markers would mimic the best. But anyway, so in this card, there's little splashes of red around the outside, and again, I just wanted to add a little bit of color so that it matched the rest of the deck, but I wanted to keep the feeling of it the same. So that feeling of light in the center and dark on the outsides, I wanted that feeling to stay. That's why I only put a bit of color on the outside and then left the rest of the card as it is. The Queen, or Mother, as it is in this deck, of Swords, I colored in her eyes, and I just outlined the sword to match the card, the King card or the Father card. So in the Father of Swords, he has this really colorful, bright sword, and the Queen, or Mother, was just this black and white card. So I thought I would outline in different colors the sword here to kind of match what's going on here a little bit, but backwards. So the red's up here, and the red's in the handle. There's like purple down at the bottom, but I put the purple on the tip. So I just tried to kind of match the colors a little bit. I really like the way it turned out. For Justice, I just colored in the sword in the middle. I think it really highlights that duality. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. The Judgment card is the only one that I used watercolor on, because I thought the marker would be a little too stark and I wouldn't get like these soft edges that I wanted. I just wanted a bit of color in the card. I thought a nice bright background up here to contrast the darkness down here would look nice. Here for the 5 of Cups, I really like this card. I wanted to make the cups a little more visible, so I simply outlined them in a light color. But it was a nice card, and it is a nice card. I didn't want to alter it too much. For the 4 of Cups, I don't think I had a reason to what I did, and I still can't think of why I would have done this, but I just colored in the rat a little bit. The tail, I put some brown in the fur. This one I might have not put as much thought into, but it looks fine, and it works. Over here we have the 8 of Cups, walking away from what's not working and moving towards a brighter future, so I just colored in the horizon here. The 10 of Swords, this is the one I wish I left just without color. In hindsight, I think it matches the card perfectly. Now, this one I barely altered, the Seven of Swords. I merely colored in the fox's eye, just to highlight that sly look he's giving. And for me, that was enough. It has color. The Son of Swords, I put a bit of color on the outside just to highlight the suit, and I did color in his eye blue as well. Didn't turn out as brightly maybe as I'd like, but that's that one. For the Death card, I put in a little bit of green on this skeletal carcass. Just little bits of green to show that, you know, new life is coming from the old. For this card, I just wanted to make these pentacles stand out a little more. They were really washed out with this card. That was the only reasoning. I think it looks nice. Over here we have the Nine of Swords. I colored the worms, as you know, they're the ones making this transformation happen. They're the stars of this show, so I wanted to highlight them. And finally, the last card I changed in the deck was the Five of Wands, just to put some more emphasis on the differences. So I outlined each stick in a different color, although they are pointing different ways and the lines are all in different directions. So this card could have been left as it is, but like I said, it bothered me that some cards didn't have color in them, and I wanted all of them to have just a little burst. So that is my first experience coloring in cards, and I was really happy with the result. I love this deck still. I use it still. It's aged really well. So with a recent deck I got, I bought it knowing that I was going to color it, and that is this deck. I forget what it's called, something about roses and dogs, but it just came shrink wrapped and, you know, no title or anything. So I can't quite remember what it was called, but it's a black and white all dog deck. You know, dogs in the traditional RWS kind of positioning. I did not get much into coloring it. I've just done one card so far, and here it is, the Two of Wands. I did this in watercolor. I'll show you what I used. I used the Winsor & Newton palette, and it just opens up like this. I think it's like a student palette. I got it really cheap. It works for me because these cheaper watercolors are a little more opaque, and that's what I wanted. I wanted an opaque color that I can easily move around the paper and manipulate. So that lighter little bit in his face that you see, I dried the brush and kind of just ran it over here to get rid of some of the color. Otherwise, I wanted it to be a little more opaque and bright on the card, not like the typical watercolor look. I did end up outlining, I don't know if it'll shine in the light, I did end up outlining it as well because I thought I lost some of the crispness when I painted it. So all the line work is redone as well. I'm really happy with the way the card turned out. It just took me longer than I expected, but I did finally start my second card. I just randomly picked them out of the deck. There's no rhyme or reason. And I just started this before filming, so after we film, I'll finish it. Maybe I'll continue to film while I do it and include the clips in the end. I'm not sure, we'll see. But yeah, so first I have to sand it down, and then I can color it in with my cheap watercolors. And once it's dry, I outline everything all over again. So it is a process, but I'm really, really proud of this card. I'm no artist. I'm just doing this for fun and because I enjoy it. So yeah, eventually this deck will be all colored in by me. If you know the name of this deck, can you please comment down below? It has honestly escaped me. Last coloring thing I have might appeal to more of you if you don't want to mess with your cards. You can get a coloring book, and this one just came in I think a week ago for me, the Enchanted Tarot. So my process for this is going to be just do a quick wash in watercolor to get like some color down, And then I'm gonna go over it with my pencil crayons. These are the Black Widows. I got them on sale, so we'll see how that goes. But the plan is to outline this, or not outline this, but color it in with pencil crayon over the general wash of watercolor. But definitely, if you want to join the beautiful world of coloring, like I said, I'm not an artist. You can see this is not this is not amazing art or anything like that, but it's great for relaxing. It's great for looking at the card and contemplating the card. I chose these colors all deliberately, like they all have meaning for me. And in this deck, I actually realized the Queen of Wands has like a spade shape behind her, which translate to wands. I thought that was really interesting, and like I said, I have the deck, never noticed that before. But as soon as I started coloring it in myself, that's something I noticed. I don't know if it happens for the other queens. It does. It does. Here you have a diamond shape for pentacles, which is correct. A heart for hearts, obviously. Sorry, that's the queen. And then the kings have it too. Spades for swords. The kings have it too. Oh, that's neat. Yep, there it is, the club. Yeah, awesome. I discovered that just now on the camera. But this one I noticed when I was coloring it, and never did I notice it while using the actual deck. So, you know, it's a great way to relax. It's a great way to notice details in cards you might have not noticed otherwise. So grab a deck, grab a book, grab some paper even, and redraw a card if you want, and try it out. Even if it is just one card or one drawing that you do, I highly recommend it as an exercise. You don't know, you might discover something you hadn't known before. Anyway, I feel like this video is too long now, so I'm gonna go, and I'll see you guys next time.